Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Shaneria and this is Talking Crime. You guys, I hope you guys subscribe and join the family. If you are returning, you know how we like to do it. We like to get straight in today's reaction video.
Basically, these are not your friends.
I watched that 43-part story, so you don't have to. That's Tremaine, and he's an Uber driver, and he's telling us what he heard in his car during a ride on July 4th. So he had these 4 girls in his car: Rebecca, Taylor, Brittany, and Melissa. They were kind of just spilling tea, talking, kikiing, and he starts to overhear a certain name get repeated over and over again. The name was Rachel. Now, Rachel wasn't in the car, but all of these girls are friends with Rachel. Melissa and Brittany were the ones that were doing most of the talking, and they were saying things like, oh, Rachel doesn't know how to dress. They were also trying to say that Rachel's father, who owned a real estate firm in Hermosa Beach, was doing tax evasion along with money laundering. And I'm sure the Uber driver was sitting there jaw on the floor at this point. They keep talking. He overhears that Brittany slept with Rachel's ex-boyfriend Wyatt while they were all in Mexico for Rachel's birthday. That he later on finds out Rachel's dad did an all-expense paid trip and paid for all of her friends' hotel rooms, their flights, and he gave them spending money. And Brittany's sitting there yeah, I slept with Wyatt because Rachel went and slept with Chase, and so I just felt like this gave me the green light to sleep with Wyatt because I felt like me and him always had a connection. And then Melissa said that when she poured her heart out to Rachel on her birthday and gave her a pair of shoes, that Rachel was ungrateful. She was just really mad about that. So when the girls finally get to their destination and they get out the car, they look at the Uber driver and they're like, oh my god, you just heard all of our tea. And he's like, yeah, and I'm gonna tell Rachel. And they bust out laughing. But little did they know, mind you, this Uber driver is taking these people on a ride to a 4th of July celebration where Rachel's gonna be at as well. So he was like, let me make this TikTok video and be like, hey, this is for Rachel, if your friends are da-da-da-da. And he gave her all the details and said, you need to beware, your friends are fake, right? And later on he explains that his reasoning for making this video, because he's heard a lot of crazy stuff in his years of being an Uber driver, was that he's seen stories of girls going on trips with girls that don't really like them, that aren't really their friends, and them not coming back. And he's like, I'll be damned if I know about a friends group like this that is super volatile and super toxic and I don't say anything about it, right? If it was my mom, my sister, my auntie, I would want them to know. Sure enough, TikTok did this thing and the algorithm was algorithming, and the video landed on Rachel's friend's FYP. And Rachel's friend actually was at that get together on 4th of July as well. So she ends up hitting Rachel up and being like, hey girl, did you check your FYP lately? You're on it. So when Rachel finally opened up her TikTok, within the first 3 videos, Tremaine's video popped up, and she said that as she was watching it, he was confirming every single detail that he was dropping, that this video was very much so about her, and she just felt so heartbroken. This is what she told him later on when Tremel and Rachel actually end up meeting up for dinner on Sunday after all this happened that Friday. Fast forward, the video blows up and Tremel ends up getting a message from that friend that I said saw the video first and told Rachel about it. And she tells him hey, I've gotten in contact with Rachel. I let her know. She's like, a lot's going on right now because on 4th of July, apparently during the celebration, a huge fight broke out between Melissa and Brittany, who are friends, and Wyatt and Chase. So the fight on 4th of July was all about everyone finding out that Chase and Wyatt have been sleeping with each other. Now, the thing that's wild about Chase and Wyatt sleeping with each other is not the fact that they're males, but that Brittany is pregnant with Wyatt's child. And so obviously Melissa and Brittany knew. Melissa and Brittany are close, and so they're now yelling at Wyatt and Chase. A few of these videos too are just Tremel doing trending audio. He also was filling in his family, telling his 90-year-old grandfather about the whole messy tea and filling him in on it. And so it's definitely a storyline, but it's also convoluted with other videos within this and reply to comments as well. So the way that everybody found out that Brittany was pregnant with Wyatt's kid was because on 4th of July Brittany wasn't drinking, and everybody was trying to figure out, why aren't you drinking? And so come to find out, she's actually pregnant with Wyatt's child. And the part that's also wild is that Rachel was actually planning a surprise party for Brittany for her birthday next month, not knowing that she is sleeping with her ex-boyfriend and that she slept with him on her birthday trip. So while all this is happening offline and online, Rebecca and Taylor end up reaching out to Tremel, and they're basically trying to minimize their involvement in the whole situation and being like, oh yeah, we weren't saying a lot in the Uber, right? We were just kind of just sitting there. But Tremel and Rachel later on, when they meet for dinner, end up discussing that, and they're like, yeah, well, you didn't say anything either. You didn't defend me. You allowed these people that are closer to me than me and you are talk shit about me to you. How does that make any sense, right? So they were also calling Rachel and trying to make things better and try to apologize to her, but she's just if you're willing to be in a room where I'm being dragged and not stand up for me, you're clearly not my friend. Tremel was talking to Rachel on the phone. He did end up talking to her dad on speaker and got the whole criminal allegations cleared up, and he said no, there's definitely nothing like that happening. Dad was laughing it off and being I don't know what all of this is. And obviously when they met for dinner, Rachel's biggest concern was they could ruin my family's name. Obviously we're well off, we have a business, business. Like, I need to be better at protecting my family and their resources. So now he also speaks to Wyatt and Chase. And he said that Wyatt and Chase were in the same location. And he said it's kind of seemed like they were living together at this point. But he was also able to get their side of the story as well. So now at this point, talk to everybody involved in the story, right? So now it's time for him to have a seat and talk to Rachel face to face. So they finally meet. They have a cute little dinner out in Hermosa Beach. And immediately Rachel lets us know that she has been friends with these people since college. Now she has another friend group that she's been friends with since childhood. And that childhood friend group does not like her college friend group because they think that the college friend group is trying to use her. And obviously now that's becoming true. Another thing that was kind of shocking that Rachel reveals during dinner is that Melissa used to have a crush on her father, to the point that Melissa was flirting with Rachel's dad at his 60th birthday party. She always somehow found a way to get invited to Rachel's family gatherings, and it's super weird because Rachel's parents have been married forever. When it comes to Rachel and Wyatt dated for about 3 years. The entire time that he was with Rachel, he was a bum. She was supporting him along with her father, and when her father started to press him and be like, hey, what are you going to do with my daughter? Like, what's your intentions? Wyatt actually proposed to Rachel. She still has the ring. Her dad was like, yeah, you need to do something. Like, you need to get your life together. Rachel, between the lines, basically said that Wyatt went and looked for another wallet, and that's when he, started messing with Chase. And so she's like, I'm not surprised. She's like, I am kind of shocked that him and Chase are doing something. I didn't suspect that. She doesn't have a problem with it. Obviously, she would have wanted to know that Wyatt was bisexual so she could make the decision on whether or not she wanted to be with somebody that was bisexual. She definitely suspected that something was happening between Brittany and Wyatt, though. So all of that coming out about them having a baby together kind of made sense to her. Rachel said she's fine. She's mentally okay. Obviously not going to go back to being friends with these people. She said that she was friends with them for over 10 years and she didn't want to cut them off of suspicions, but all of this just confirmed it and made it clear as day that they were never her friends. So she's just going to move on with her life. She said she's never going to reveal like their faces or who they are. She also doesn't want to really reveal her face, and like she took down the response story that she made, kind of like telling her side of the story, because she was like, I don't even want to be known for this. I'm not here to like, bash anybody, and I don't want anything for them besides exactly what they deserve. At the end of the day, it seems like he really genuinely wanted her to know that she didn't have good friends, and in the end she was able to free herself from this cycle where she was around people that didn't really have the best intentions for her. And she said, like, looking back, I'm kind of embarrassed by this, but at least it's over now. She said she's not a huge social media person, but at the end of the day, she's still grateful for all the comments. It was overwhelming at a point. That's why she went private. Girl, Rachel, I'm so sorry that you had to go through this. Losing friends is a part of life. It's a part of growing up. You guys tagged me in this a bunch. I wanted to make sure I got it out to you guys. I appreciate you guys as always. Bye.
Rachel, what kind of people are you around? Good thing that the Uber driver was being nosy. It's some messy people, especially, you don't even know like the people they talking about, but you just hear how like crazy the whole situation be, and you just be listening like, dang, wow. Girl, whoever she is, they are not your friends. But to literally listen to the whole thing from script to script, like boyfriend messing with boyfriend, her homegirl messing with her boyfriend, like she pregnant, like he got all the tea, like from top to bottom. The Uber driver wasn't playing at all. And it is true. It's a whole bunch of people out there that thinking people are their friends, and they going out of country and everything together, only to not even return to their family because they're carrying these fake friends around them. Y'all had a good friend. The daddy paid for y'all to go out of the country, paid for y'all to spend stuff. Like, y'all didn't even have to use your own money. Y'all didn't even have to book anywhere to stay. Like, it was all under control without no issues. But yet y'all get into an Uber driver and talk about this girl. That's why they say be careful what you talk about and who you talk about it around, because at the end of the day, there's always somebody out there that know the exact same person or whatever. In this case, he put a whole video on TikTok, and a lot of messy stuff go viral on TikTok. But anyway, like, he put it on TikTok and it blew up. And now Rachel know who really her friends and what her man been doing the whole time. And that is T. You guys, drop down in the comment section what you think about this story. Messy. Don't forget to like, comment, and if you watched all the way to the end and didn't subscribe, what you waiting for? Join the family. If you are returning, hello, how are you? Thanks for watching, and you all have a blessed day. Peace.